Thank you for visiting our channel. Please like, share and subscribe for more exciting food videos. Now that we've learned about the biology and industry of Atlantic lobsters, it's time to dive into conservation. We'll look at the challenges lobsters face and what's being done to ensure their future. Let's get into it. Sustainability and conservation challenges. Atlantic lobster populations face a variety of pressures that threaten their future. From overfishing and habitat degradation to the broader impacts of climate change, maintaining healthy lobster stocks requires a joint effort from fisheries, governments, and communities. Let's explore the key challenges and some solutions impacting this valued species. Overfishing and regulations. Uncontrolled fishing can leave lobster populations dangerously low, disrupting their role in marine ecosystems and harming coastal economies. Historically, the demand for Atlantic lobster has led to overfishing in some areas, with both immature and reproductive individuals being harvested prematurely. This not only depletes their numbers but also hinders the recovery of future generations. To address this, governments and fisheries have implemented strict regulations. These include size limits, protect breeding populations by mandating the release of smaller, juvenile lobsters and oversized reproductive ones. Trap limits, restrict how many lobster traps each fisherman can deploy, preventing over-extraction. Fishing seasons, protect lobsters during molting and breeding periods when they are most vulnerable. Licensing systems, control the number of active fishermen in the industry. These measures ensure that lobster fishing remains a sustainable practice without sacrificing the livelihoods of fishermen. Though enforcement can be challenging, these rules are a critical step in balancing conservation with industry needs. Environmental threats. The Atlantic lobster faces more than just human pressure. Environmental factors are also reshaping the survival landscape for this species, making conservation even more urgent. Habitat loss. Coastal development and dredging can destroy the rocky, seaweed-filled habitats where lobsters thrive. Without enough shelter, they're more exposed to predators and population decline. Climate change, rising ocean temperatures disrupt lobster migration, growth, and reproduction. Warmer waters can push lobsters to colder regions, affecting fishing economies. Pollution, chemicals, plastic waste, and runoff entering the ocean create toxic environments, damaging lobster habitats and contaminating food sources. These threats are interconnected. For example, pollution paired with warming waters can lead to low oxygen dead zones, making it harder for marine life, including lobsters, to survive. Protecting lobster populations means addressing these issues together, not piecemeal. Sustainable practices in lobster fisheries. Thankfully, many fisheries are setting the standard for conservation-minded practices. These initiatives aim to ensure lobsters remain abundant for future generations while supporting the livelihoods of those who depend on them. V-notching programs, fishermen mark the tails of egg-bearing female lobsters with a small notch. These lobsters must be released if caught, signaling their importance for reproduction. Eco-labeled certification. Programs like the Marine Stewardship Council, MSC, certify fisheries that meet sustainability benchmarks. This encourages responsible practices and makes it easier for consumers to support sustainable seafood. Bycatch reduction. Modern lobster traps are designed to reduce bycatch, preventing other marine species from being unintentionally caught and harmed. Community-led efforts are also playing a role. Fishermen and scientists often collaborate to monitor populations, share knowledge, and improve fishing methods. By combining traditional practices with modern solutions, these initiatives demonstrate how conservation doesn't have to conflict with economic benefit. In the end, sustainable lobster fishing isn't just a goal, it's a necessity to preserve this species and the communities that depend on it. Fun and fascinating facts about Atlantic lobsters. Atlantic lobsters are much more than just popular menu items. These crustaceans have unique traits and intriguing characteristics that set them apart in the animal kingdom. From their incredible lifespans to the myths surrounding their appearance, there's plenty to uncover about these underwater marvels. Longevity and growth. Atlantic lobsters can live for an impressively long time, often reaching 40 to 50 years in the wild. Imagine a lobster quietly navigating the ocean floor while decades come and go. Their age is difficult to determine precisely, but scientists estimate it by studying growth rings in certain parts of the body, similar to tree rings. Unlike most animals, lobsters grow continuously throughout their lives. This growth happens through molting, where the lobster sheds its hard exoskeleton and forms a new one. It's an exhausting and risky process that leaves them vulnerable to predators until their new shell hardens. Young lobsters may molt several times a year, but as they age, the frequency slows down. What's fascinating is their regenerative powers. Lose a claw or a leg? No problem. Lobsters can regrow lost limbs after molting. Over time, a fully functional claw can replace one that's damaged or missing. Think of it as nature's version of a reset button. Some believe lobsters might even be biologically immortal because their growth doesn't stop and their cells don't show typical signs of aging. While they're not invincible, they still face predators, disease, and human harvesting. Their biology hints at a lifespan longer than most creatures their size. Lobster myths and misconceptions. When you picture a lobster, is it bright red? That's one of the most common lobster myths. In reality, lobsters in the wild are usually dark green, brown, or even blue-black, shades that help them blend into rocky ocean floors. They only turn red after being cooked. The heat breaks down pigments in their shells, leaving behind the red coloration. Blue lobsters, a rare genetic mutation, are another source of fascination. About 1 in 2 million lobsters has this striking hue, making them feel like a prize find. Even rarer are yellow, orange, or albino lobsters, which occur in less than 1 in 30 million. Another misconception? That lobsters scream in boiling water. This eerie noise is actually air escaping from their shells, not a vocal expression. Despite the myth, lobsters don't have vocal cords or the ability to scream in distress. Lastly, the idea that lobsters are solitary loners isn't entirely accurate. While they do prefer their own space, particularly hiding in rocky dens, they gather in groups during certain times, such as migration or to access prime hunting grounds. They're not the ocean's version of hermit crabs, they interact when necessary. With so many quirks and curious traits, Atlantic lobsters are as intriguing as they are valuable. Their impressive longevity, continuous growth, and ability to regenerate made them a source of wonder long before they became dinner table favorites. Add to that the myths and rare color variations, and it's easy to see why lobsters remain a topic of endless fascination. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe.